So, we're going to dive into this idea that, well, it kind of goes against everything we think we know about relationships. The big question is this: could creating a little distance actually make a bond stronger? I mean, we're all taught the same thing from day one, right? If you want to build a real connection with someone, you have to be close. It's like the golden rule of relationships. And what does close usually mean? Well, it means more of everything. More time together, more texts, more calls, more access to each other's lives. The basic idea is that this constant contact is the glue holding everything together. But hang on, what if that's not the whole story? What if all that nonstop connection, that fire hose of communication, is actually counterproductive? What if it's weakening the very thing it's supposed to be building? And this is where things get really interesting. It turns out that emotional spark, that intensity, it doesn't really grow in constant closeness. It grows through contrast. Think about it. When someone is always available, it's so easy to start taking them for granted, right? That special feeling can kind of fade. The magic is actually in the contrast between being together and being apart. And that distance, it creates something really powerful in our minds: anticipation. You know that feeling of looking forward to seeing someone again? That act of looking forward actually primes our brains. It gets us excited, and it makes the reunion feel so much more emotional and intense when it finally happens. And it's not like you're just sitting around passively waiting. When you step away, your mind is actually doing some really important work. You start remembering all the good times, you reflect on what that person really means to you. You're basically reliving and re-experiencing all those positive emotions, and that makes the bond feel even deeper. Here's a great way to think about it: the difference between constant connection and deep connection. Let's compare texts versus letters. A text message, it's instant, it's quick, it's constant. But a letter has distance built right in. The time it takes to write it, send it, and wait for it, that builds all that anticipation we were just talking about. It makes the message itself feel way more profound. Okay, but we have to be super clear about something here. This is not an excuse for ignoring someone or just disappearing. There's a huge difference between healthy distance and unhealthy distance, and it all boils down to one critical word: intentionality. So let's break it down. Healthy distance is when you intentionally create space to recharge for the relationship. Unhealthy distance is when you're just avoiding the relationship. See the difference? One restores your energy and fosters connection, while the other, well, it just drains it. Yeah, it's all about energy. When you consciously choose to take some space for yourself, knowing you're coming back, it literally restores your energy. It means when you are together, you're more present, more focused. But when that distance just kind of happens, through neglect or avoidance, it just creates anxiety and sucks the life right out of the connection. So, the big idea here isn't about having less connection, not at all. It's about finding a different pattern, a new kind of rhythm that's actually sustainable, one that keeps things fresh and helps you avoid that feeling of burnout. And this rhythm is actually a pretty simple three-part cycle. First, you have that quality, focused time together. Then you have intentional time apart where you each do your own thing and recharge. And that leads to the most powerful part: the meaningful return, when you come back together with all this renewed energy and appreciation for each other. And really, that's the whole point. True, lasting closeness doesn't come from being glued at the hip 24/7. It thrives in the power of that reunion. The act of coming back together purposefully, that's what gives the time you spend together its real meaning. There's a great line that just sums this whole paradox up perfectly. It goes, sometimes stepping back is what allows love to move forward. It's that intentional space that actually gives the relationship room to grow and move ahead. So look, there's no magic formula here, no one-size-fits-all answer. It's really all about being intentional. So the question I want to leave you with is this: what's the right rhythm for your connection? What's the pattern of together and apart that's going to keep your relationships feeling alive, energized, and truly meaningful?